Step Drag by Louise Allen Bean Lerma. Man and wife move into a house. It's a seaport. It's a desperate move for new employment. The man is out of work, but is looking for prospects, and it's looking good. He's a hard-working man and wants to make a good living for his wife and their home. As they both settle in, the wife has noticed little funny things going on in the house, leading up to hearing a distinct walk, a drag step of a lame leg. In her sleep one night, she woke up to a person in the doorway. Thinking it was her husband making the pacing noises, she was startled to look over and see that her husband was still asleep in the bed. As she watched the apparition walk away, loudly hearing the step drag down the hallway, she was terrified. The next morning, as she was window shopping, she came upon a book entitled Murder Ahoy, and the house on the cover looked just like her present home. Drawn towards the book, she entered the store, picked it up, and had to begin reading it. She finally walked up to the counter and purchased the book, and read it all the way home. The story unfolded a tale of a man and wife. The man bore the same name as her husband, but she felt glad to learn that her own was different from the wife in the book. In the book, the man was a fisherman with work on the decline. Struggling to keep his family together, he injures his leg and becomes depressed. Increasingly every day, he goes insane. One of his shipmates in town comes to his aid, although it's a little too late. He lets him know that there's a ship leaving port the next day, and he has a job on it for 2 months. That night, the man decides to commit the ultimate sin and kills his wife. Then he left on the ship the very next day, never to be seen in town again. Her mind starts to recall situations with her own fisherman husband, such as frustration of no work and his increasing depression since he once was such a happy-go-lucky person. She even tries to tell him the sounds that are going on in the house, that they're clear, loud footsteps, but he won't believe her because he's always asleep. The bad feelings begin to feed upon themselves for them both. She becomes terrified at what she is reading and the similarities to her own life. All the strange goings-on in her house are coming rushing into her head. The book has struck a chord in her mind. When her husband comes home, she'll talk to him about the situation that they're going through, and she wants to clear the air and help each other get through this temporary downtime. Her husband comes through the door now.
Honey, I'm home. Sorry I'm late. I hurt myself at the dock, so I took a minute to clean up at Butch's office. But I have good news. I'm leaving on a ship for a good pay tomorrow. I don't know what I would do if this didn't come through. I was about to lose my mind. Do you know what I mean, honey?
As she stares in wide-eyed terror, he makes his way into the kitchen. Step drag. He calls out to her as he makes his way towards her.
See, honey, I met an old guy at the dock. He handed me this knife and said to me, "Take this knife. Have a nice trip. It's the fastest gutty knife you'll ever have."